Okay, guys. It always goes dark when I turn this on, but do you hear it? Quiet. It's quiet. And I'm sitting here in my room with this little dude sleeping next to me. It's not my favorite room in the house just because it's the last one we actually tackled to do anything with. But I'm comfortable sitting in my bed, kind of chilling out. And the pug is here. He's in love with me. So I'll never be alone if I have a pug. But anyway, I wanted to do a little more bright and happy, which it won't really be bright and happy, but marriage diary thing. And I really don't even know where I'm going to go with this. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I have a lot to say today. Definitely do. It's just so freaking dark. I hate that. And I'm so uncomfortable sitting up like this, but it's kind of good for me to do that. So this week was hard. Jamie had a little episode. He hates that I talk about this, guys, but here's the reality, is that he was diagnosed with bipolar a few months ago. And had we gone a long time ago and said, this is the problem, I think it would have been recognized a whole lot sooner and maybe a little easier. But it gets bad. And because we're two people living together and having to reach a mutual goal in raising happy and healthy children, even though it's his diagnosis, it's both of our burdens to bear, and he hates that. But I could be the bitch and walk out, not putting up with it. Something interesting about me, I don't know if you guys have taken it, but there's a personality profile and it's pretty spot on. There's 16 different personality types and mine is very rare. And yeah, big deal. I don't wear it like a crown or anything, but the difference between me and a lot of other people is I do not lead by emotion, even a little. I can feel a lot of things. I feel so much, but I don't make decisions based on emotion. I'm very, very logical to the point that it's very hard for me to interact with the world on a lot of things. Like, I just don't understand how people think the way they do because it doesn't follow a pattern of logic. So that helps me a lot because Jamie can throw whatever he wants at me as far as a nasty comment, and it doesn't stick to me. I don't internalize it as reality. I am not beat down emotionally. I get tired emotionally of dealing with it, but I don't internalize the things he says to me because my pattern of logic is, okay, if you've said this thing 7 times and now on the 8th time you're just throwing out something different that's hurtful, you're just trying to hurt me. Okay, you're trying to hurt me, it's not going to work. I don't know how a lot of women out there that are on the more common personality types or that they interact with the world in a different way, how they deal with it. For me, I'm not in danger of losing my self-esteem or beating myself up because I can recognize what is and isn't true very, very easily. Black and white is almost stark for me. I feel like when somebody's going to surprise me and I say, you got something planned, and they say no, they've lied to me. I can't tolerate it. I would prefer them to say something like, well, if I told you I had something planned for you, it would ruin it, so we're just not going to talk about it. I feel like there's always a way to tell the truth. So our big blow up this weekend, was it this weekend? Yeah, over 4th of July weekend, is he did lie to me. And it wasn't, God, I'm looking for the word, it was a mission. I asked, when's your doctor's appointment? And he said, I already went, I told you that I went. I'm like, no, you didn't. And at that point, for me, the way that I interact with the world is if somebody asks me, when did this thing happen? And they obviously, very obviously aren't aware that that event happened, I would say, oh my gosh, I thought I told you, did I not? I would assume immediately that if they act like they didn't have the information, they didn't have the information. I would not keep pushing that I absolutely did tell you. And then as soon as he finally loses that fight, because I'm like, Jamie, really? You really think I would have forgot that? You really think that you would have gone and after a big deal to this doctor and see what we can do to, make this better, that I would have forgot that? So then he's like, I didn't want to tell you because it was none of your business. So then it's a defensive, and I could already see it. And had I been in a better state emotionally, I was coming off of narcotic medication, and I honestly, guys, if I'm ever in pain again, I'd really like to push for just an anti-inflammatory. I don't do well on, I don't know if it's an opioid. It makes me feel really floaty, but then when I'm coming off of it, I feel so sad and defeated, and I don't like it. It's not even worth the pain relief for me to feel that way. But anyway, I was in an extremely weakened mental state, as you could have told by my last vlog where I was crying. God, where the hell was I going with that? Oh, so he's fighting with me, and at that point I should have known. Just back up. I'm not going to win it. I mean, I know the signs, and honestly, he knows the signs too, and he's actually been on his laptop writing the cycles down, because he is being proactive about fixing this and giving everybody the tools and giving himself the tools so that we're not impacted by his moods, because it basically becomes what he feels is the truth, and we all know that's not true. But in that moment for him, it is true. So for the older children that kind of know, because they can feel the atmosphere of the house changing, the little ones are off just making messes. But I explained to them, it's kind of a situation where somebody is deathly afraid of spiders, and they walk in a room and they see a plastic spider on the floor and they flip out. And you could stand there and argue with them all you want that it's just a plastic spider, it's going to be okay. If they are truly feeling terrified by this threat, you stop arguing with them. There's no reasoning with them at that point. You go take the spider away, you take the threat away, or you just tell them to go ahead and, you'll take care of it. There's no point in arguing with them at that point. So my role in this, and a wife dealing with a man with bipolar disorder, is to know I don't need to argue at that point. I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm not going to win the argument. I'm not going to bring him to the point of logic. It needs some time. And on his end, he's got to start trusting when I say this spider is fake. He can be like, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going to walk over it anyway, or I'll pick it up anyway. And that's kind of where we're at right now, is trying to navigate what's happening. Because, right, and this has been my whole life. I wish I would have known this before. I wish I would have been able to put my finger on it, or there was a name for it. I will be going about my life doing fine. There's nothing wrong. He comes home, we chit chat, we play with the kids, we go to bed, and it's just like normal pattern. And then he'll say something that I've done 2 days ago that bothered him, but he won't say 2 days ago this thing bothered me. He'll make a comment, you don't care about me because, you don't love me because, you're not invested in our marriage because of this really stupid minor thing. And at that point, because my brain is logical, I'm like, that you can't tell me that I didn't feel an emotion because I did an action you didn't approve of. I will never subscribe to that. So I've given him 2 tasks. Number 1, if he has a need, say on Tuesday night he wants to have me come and lay in the bed while he falls asleep, and I can get up afterwards. Say on Tuesday night, I'd like you to come upstairs. Do not wait until Friday night and tell me, well, Tuesday I was really feeling lonely and you ignored me, and if you cared you would have read my damn mind. Because what can I do with that, So the first task I've had for him, because y'all, I had put my foot so far down, I'm talking, there's divorce papers, they're in the drawer. If you ever pull this shit again, you're out. I'm going for the kids, because I'm not exposing them to this anymore. I won't do it. And he knows it's done. Even if we're a week away from going to Australia, we have our bags packed. If he pulls this shit ever again, it's done. I'm not putting up with it anymore. It will never happen to me again. Not to the point that it has. But in that, I'm not a bitch. I'll get into a little bit more of what I told him. So the first thing is, I need you to communicate needs immediately. But now if you have a grievance against me, you hate me because you did this. I said, you can't keep telling yourself these things, screwing with your mind. So I said, I want you to write it down. And then I want you to revisit it a week later and ask yourself, did it bear true? Did the time that I ignored you because I was on my phone, maybe answering a message and I'm out of it, give me the benefit of the doubt? Don't say it in that moment, because in 15 minutes I could put my phone down and be like, guess what just happened? This person just messaged me. They're going to do all these bracelets, and I had to hurry up and find the pictures that showed the sizes and all that, and I'm so excited, and give him a hug. Guess what? He wouldn't have got any of that. He wouldn't have had a view into my life. He wouldn't have known what's going on. He wouldn't have got physical attention, because in the moment he would have flipped his shit that he knew I hated him because I was on my phone. That shit's not gonna fly. So I told him at this point, right now, even though in Christian families the man's the lead, it's not going like that anymore. We cannot trust him to guide us anywhere because his emotions are leading and they're causing chaos. So I have asked him to kind of step down and do these things I've asked of him so that he can get a pattern of recognizing that feelings are not always true. And in that, our whole family needs to be very transparent from now on in all of our struggles, because I want my children to learn compassion. I don't want them to look at their dad like, oh, he has bipolar, he's so screwed up. No, we all have something wrong with us. We all have a weakness. And what we need to do is when we have a family, we don't need to say to ourselves, this is inconveniencing me, this hurts me, this is affecting my life. We're a group, and we need to see how we can support each other's weaknesses. I think that's the point of family. I think that's the point of friendship and marriage and everything else. I could kick Jamie's ass out tomorrow. I don't know what good that would do. I know this person and he needs help right now. And I'm not in danger. I'm not even in danger emotionally because I know the truth. For a lot of years, I wondered what was wrong with me. And I finally got to a point where I'm like, there's nothing, literally nothing wrong with me. And that doesn't mean I'm perfect in the marriage. It just means that there's minor things I do that if they were brought to my attention at that point, I would apologize and I would correct them. But I'm not a bad person because I, was on my phone or talked to a girlfriend on the phone. And it finally clicked with me. All these things I was feeling guilty about are normal things. And all his grievances against me are not appropriate to the level that they go to. There's no reason to have a 2-hour fight because I asked him to talk to me or I asked him to play with Noah, because I don't come at him like, you're a shitty father, you haven't played with your kids all day long. I will say, hey, you. And that's how I talk. I'm like, get off that phone and go tickle your son. Come on, let's go. And depending on the mood, he'll either laugh at me or he'll flip his shit. So that's where I know it's in him, because I'm very steady and I'm always like this. I can be a little unaware at times of what people need because there's so many needs that need to be met. And he signed up for that shit. We have a lot of kids and he signed up for meeting all the needs of people. But in all that, he wanted to be like one of the kids. He wanted to get all the time and all the attention. But children, they're very verbal with, I need this, I need that. And I don't care if JB acts like a child. As long as he can verbalize to me what he needs, then I can say, okay, I can do that, or I can't do that right now. But I need that opportunity to make that decision and to communicate with him about it, not be told days and days later that I did something wrong. And that's where it really got bad. You have done wrong. You have been a bad wife because. No, I'm not a bad wife. I am absolutely not a bad wife, and I have never been a bad wife. And I can say that. And I know it. I know it to be true because I know that at any given moment, if there was something that would provide him comfort or happiness, this damn phone is making me mad. But anyway, if it was in my ability to do so, I would make him happy and I would comfort him. Not to my detriment like I've done for forever, but proactively. He needs something done. I'm happy to do it for him. He is my friend. I'm happy to help him. I'm happy to read all these articles and see kind of what we can do to make his interaction with the world easier. Now, at work, that man kicks ass because he can get manic and he can be so hyper detailed and whatever. His work environment, he is so damn good. And as far as like when he has a task to do here, my life gets so much easier because he gets so focused on it and wants to do such a good job. So there's good things about this. We just have to work with it. And I'm willing to. I'm protected, as far as my brain knows what the truth is. Now, I have him on a little project, actually. We're going to write this book thing, and I'm like, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this. So he has a group on Facebook. He's reaching out. He's engaging other people besides me, besides depending on me, and finding out he is a worthwhile person. And I love it. Oh my God. I'm like, get out there, go do something. I mean, I have tried to make him, arrangements to go listen to music or go take banjo lessons. I have pushed him out the door a lot because I don't want him to depend on me for his self-esteem. he said to me, what freaks him out the most is I might think badly of him. I said, Jamie, at the end of the day, no matter what I think about you, it's not true. I mean, it could be true, but my thoughts about you don't define your person. Your thoughts about me don't define me. It's either true or it's not true. If I think you're a terrible father, and I say, I think you're a terrible father, it doesn't make you a terrible father. You have to ask yourself, am I or am I not? And you have to sit with that, and you're the only person that knows that. You're the only person that knows what you really think and what you really feel. And I think he has a hard time connecting that because he likes to look at people and be like, okay, so they did that, so they obviously feel this. Well, the only way you can know how somebody feels is to ask them, how do you feel? Do you hate me? Like, seriously, do I hate him? Sometimes I want to punch him in the freaking head. I mean, let's be real here, but no, because hate would be an absence of giving a shit what we're going through right now. And that's not reality. So taking this one day at a time, and like everything we do, we're just not giving up. I don't know what that means for us, for him and I, as far as who will be at the end of it all. But there's a person that I have known for half of my life, and he's struggling right now. And I'm not gonna let that go or abandon him in that, because he is the father of my children, and he's my friend, and I like him. I think he's hilarious. I think he has a long way to go, though, in accepting who he is for who he is. And it seems to bounce back and forth between wild egotism and completely like on the ground, you know, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, self-hate. And we're working on that. So we just keep it one day at a time. We both have things to learn. We both have things to change. And being able to see it, like, it's such a relief. You have no idea. I mean, you'd think you'd freak out and be like, oh God, there's this big thing out there. No, now that I can actually look at it and kind of examine it and figure out what to do with it, I feel more empowered about the situation now. So that's where we're at. We're doing pretty good today. He did say to me today, I said, how you feeling today? He says, I don't want to talk about that. It can't change, so I'm just going to keep on going with my day. And that's a huge step for us. As far as over the weekend, he did apologize for everything he said. And I let it go because I'm not going to beat the hell out of him. I mean, he said what he said in a moment of like anger and over it, you know. I know the truth, so. But then he feels very, very, very ashamed. I'm like, you need to apologize and move on and just don't do it again. And write it down. So that he's writing it down makes me feel very relieved, because he likes to have revisionist history over what he did and didn't say, so that he's recording it accurately helps a lot. Anyway, this is getting super long. That's what's going on here. See, no tears today. I'm so happy. I've been really relieved. So things have been good. Even when they've been bad, they've been good, if that makes any sense. So that's that. I'll see you guys next week.